And let me get back over to where I can see. I'm not entirely sure what happened or why the video just suddenly stopped in the middle of it. I don't think I touched my phone, but who knows? Hopefully we're going and live again. Looks like I can see the screen, and I'm waiting to be able to see yep, I can see my hands moving. So I'll give everybody just a second to hop back on here. Hopefully you can find me again. And I apologize. Like I said, I've never had that happen before. I don't know what in the world, why it stopped midstream. So yay, I'm glad you all are back. Thanks everybody for your patience. And I guess happy Thanksgiving week to me. I don't know. All right, so we're back and we're good. It looks like everybody's back, coming back in. So I'm just going to give it another second of me yakking, and then we'll get rolling again on the card. Because I don't want you to miss the next part. So, okay, all right, we're all back. Okay, whew. Like I said, I don't know what happened. That was crazy. Hopefully it doesn't do it again. All right, so from where I last left off, we had stamped the kind of background image of the tree in Old Olive ink on Very Vanilla cardstock. Now we've got Mossy Meadow ink that I'm going to be using to ink up the more detailed image from the Twisted in Time stamp set. And let's ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it here over the top of my little bit more kind of backgroundy look stamp. So there we go, we've got those done. Now the next part, I tried it a couple different ways when I was putting this together. So, hey, Rosie, thanks, and I'm glad everybody's coming back. I appreciate it. Again, I apologize for the whatever happened with the video. So I tried this a couple different ways when I was initially stamping it. First, I tried to stamp the trees because I thought, well, if I just fit the tree top, the little branch parts up in here, it'll fit perfectly. Only it didn't. So it took me a couple tries to kind of figure out. I tried it a few different ways, a few different times. So then I finally figured out, you know what? Why don't we just cut it without stamping the tree trunk first, cut out the tree top, or you could do it the other way around. If you want to stamp the tree trunk first and cut that and then stamp the tree top later, either way is fine. But I just found that it worked a little bit better because it is a different stamp. So if I just cut the top of it first and then stamped in the tree trunk image once I had the top cut. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it as it is without the tree trunk stamp. So hang on. All right. So there we go. We've got our tree top all cut, and it's looking a little naked down here on the bottom. There are my dies. I'm like, where did I put those? All right. Then I grabbed, and of course, this requires one of the, which block is this? E blocks. And my two tree tops required an E block as well, and I only had 2 E blocks. So I got this big, ginormous block out to stamp with. So hopefully I can fumble my way through this. And I've got Pecan Pie ink, and we are going to ink up that tree image. And I'm going to try not to get it all over the block, but I probably will anyway. Hey, thanks for hopping in, and sorry again for the Crazy Town video that stopped in the midstream. So, all right, so I'm going to flip this over, and then I'm basically going to line up the bottom part where the tree trunk is at. And I'm not worrying about the top. I'm just going to stamp it where the bottom shows it, and the rest we're calling good. And there you go. Then you get a nicely stamped image. For me, that was the way that I found to make it work together the best if I was die cutting it. If you're not die cutting it, it doesn't really matter. You can just stamp it however. But if you want to do the die cut with the tree, I found it easiest to stamp the top first, cut it out, and then stamp the bottom. Or like I said, you could do it in reverse and cut the bottom, or stamp the bottom and cut it, and then stamp the top. But I couldn't figure out how to do them together because for whatever, my brain just didn't work that way. And if anybody else comes up with an ingenious way to do it, I would love to hear it. So let me know if you figured it out or figure it out at some point once you get it, if you come up with a better way. But this seemed to work for me. It was pretty easy to do. So I figured I could do it that way. So, all right, so let's put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this. All right. Yeah, and like I said, I kept thinking there has to be an easier way to do this, and then I just couldn't figure it out. So then I finally just went with, okay, it's really not that hard to die cut it and then stamp it later. So, all right, got some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of the tree, and we're just going to stick that here on the card front over the top of the kind of framed die look. Then we got our very vanilla cardstock again. And I'm going to use my embossing buddy because we're going to do a little heat embossing. And, oh, hey, Judy, thanks for hopping in. And, oh, I appreciate that, Rosie. All right, so I've got the sentiment, which is the You Make Every Day Special. We're going to ink it with Versamark ink. Make sure we get it good and inky. Stamping it here on my very vanilla cardstock. And that banner die that we're going to be cutting with is kind of a long one, so make sure that when you're stamping it, you give yourself appropriate edge room on here to make sure you don't accidentally get it pushed too far to one side or the other. And I've got gold embossing powder from the Metallics embossing powders. We're just going to shake that right over the top. There we go. Tap off the extra. Close this up before I start up my heat tool so I don't have it hopefully explode all over the place. And then I'm going to grab my Stampin' Up! Heat tool here. The Stampin' Up! Heat tool has 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying. So if you're doing something like watercoloring and want to speed up the process a little bit, you can use the level 1 setting to do that. And then there's a level 2 setting for heat embossing. So that's what we're doing. I'm just giving it a second to heat up here a little bit. And that's it. All right, I'm going to point it here towards my project and wait for the embossing powder to turn kind of that shiny, smooth look. And then we know it's done cooking. You just want to keep it moving so that you don't accidentally burn your embossing powder, because it turns all brown and not very shiny, and that's not the look you want. At least I don't want that look when I'm doing my embossing. So there we are. Got a little bit of shine on it. Hopefully you can see that in the video there. All right, let me grab my die set again, and I'm going to use the banner die here. So again, like I said, it's kind of a long banner die, so make sure you give yourself room on the edges when you're going to be die cutting this one so you don't accidentally chop anything off. But I'm going to go run this through my die cutting machine right now, so I'll be right back. All right. Okay, there we go. Got that all die cut. Get that mess out of the way. And then I'm going to bring back my card base here, and we're just going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of it. And I'm going to try to be aware of where I'm putting the Stampin' Dimensionals because I don't want to end up with them double stacked over the tree base. So I'm going to put them out to the edges here. So start out putting one over here and one over here. And we'll do another one here and another one here. And then I'm going to take one and I'm going to tuck it in here around the base of the tree, so it's right in here. So it'll hold up the center of it, but I know it'll be covered, and it's not going to land on top of the tree because I stuck it on the card front to make sure I missed the tree. So, all right, peeling off all the backings. I think I got them all. Yep. And then we're just going to take this and line it up here over the bottom of the tree. And try to line it up so that it's centered between my little frame here. And I think we'll scooch it down just a hair. There we go. Just give it a little smoosh. Make sure we're all stuck down. Then the final thing that I added to the card front was a couple of the adhesive-backed textured dots. And just use there are 2 sizes, so I used one of each and put one of the bigger ones on, one of the smaller ones. And just scoot that one down just a hair, and we'll smush those down. And then we just have the inside left to decorate, and we'll be all done. So, all right, let me grab this is the big treetop image again. We've got Old Olive ink that I'm going to ink it up in again. So try not to bang the screen around too much. All right, stamping it on the grid paper first because I want it to be a little lighter on the inside of my card. And then we're just going to stamp it here so that a little bit of the tree is showing, but not all of it. Then we're going to do the same thing with the darker, the more detailed image. We've got Mossy Meadow ink. We're going to do the same process with that. Just going to ink it up, stamp it on the scrap paper, and then stamp it over my background image. And then the final piece that I need to add is I need to stamp my little tree image on there again. So I've got that ink, or got that one ready to ink up here in Pecan Pie ink. And we'll just do the same thing here. And stamping it on scrap paper. And then I'll take it over here. And like I said, when you're stamping it and it's not going to be die cut, you can just stamp it however the heck you want to. So there's no special way to do that. There you go. All right. Let me close up my ink pad so I don't have another fingernail, only this one with brown under it. That'd look even worse than the green. So, all right. Let me put a little Stampin' seal on the back. And here are the two pieces together. Hey, Jackie, thanks for hopping in, and apologize again for the goof with the video. I don't know, I will put the two of them together so that later on down the road you don't have to watch two separate pieces of it. But all right, just going to fold this closed. And there we go. Put a little crease on it. And that's it. So I love this stamp and die set. Again, it's called Twisted in Time, and it will be available to order beginning on the 7th of January. If you are not currently a demonstrator, now is a great time to join because you can get your hands on all of this pre-order stuff early. You can add it as part of your starter kit, or you can add it as part of your starter kit and then order everything else at a discount later. If you are interested in joining, please let me know. We'd be happy to have you come join our team. The starter kits are $99 plus tax if that applies in your area. And you get to pick $125 worth of your favorite Stampin' Up! Merchandise, including the new pre-order items. And it ships for free. So let me know if you have questions about that, questions about the card. I will be posting all the details on my blog for this card tomorrow. So all the measurements and everything that I used will be listed out there. And I'll link directly to the blog post once it goes live. So yeah, around 8 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. So everybody, thanks again for joining. Thanks for coming back a second time. And I don't know, I'll see if there's a way I can figure out how to make it not stop mid-video again. I don't know what happened. Crazy town. But glad you all found me back again. I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful rest of your week. For those of you that are celebrating, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I will plan to see you all live around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday. Chat with you all then.